As we celebrate 20 years, it's hard not to be reflective and to go back to where it all started. In 2005, I was working for another company in the industry, and I was really impacted by all the turnover. It was happening everywhere. And at that point, that's what prompted me to start to consider my other options.
20 years ago, the reason I joined LRO Staffing was because of the owner, Ron Palaska. He and I had worked together in 1999 at a large multinational staffing firm. And we knew from that point that one day we would work together in a different location and conduct ourselves in a manner that was more in line with our core values.
I definitely wanted to stay in the staffing industry, and I was looking for a company that valued their people, provided a work environment that was second to none. And I thought that would be easy to find, but what I realized is that it didn't exist. And it was at that point when I decided to take a leap of faith, and if I wanted to work for a company like this, I needed to create it myself.
What stood out right away at LRO was the culture and company values that are so entrenched in the LRO fabric. Here I was, a new grad, walking in to an established office full of industry leaders that were equally as humble and helpful as they were successful. And for me, while I should have been intimidated, I rather felt welcomed and encouraged because we already shared that customer-driven approach.
Hard to imagine that I've been in the industry for 25 years, 16 of which have been with LRO. I think what keeps me in the industry are the relationships with clients, with candidates. There are some clients that I've had for 20 plus years. I've placed their children in opportunities for summer university placements. It's that kind of longevity that's so rewarding and that gives you a sense of pride in what you do and the change that you can make in someone's life by providing them with employment that they really love.
I've been in the staffing industry now for 10 years, and I've been fortunate enough to spend the last 5 with LRO. And I think to be a part of LRO is to be surrounded by people who are so collaborative and supportive, and we genuinely celebrate all of our successes as if they're our own.
I like to call us glorified professional matchmakers. And for me, I take pride in uncovering and unpeeling the layers in terms of why a company might be making a new hire or why a candidate might be activating a job search.
I think part of what makes LRO different is having that ability to focus on big picture thinking. So whether that's utilizing the latest tools or practices or approaches that some of the best companies internationally will, but applying that still to, the relationships we have locally and keeping our local partnerships at the center of everything we do to sort of champion what's best for them. It kind of gives us the best of both worlds, global thought process, local feel.
I think from a client perspective, we have small specialized teams. So even though a client may not always be dealing with me directly, maybe they'll be dealing with one of my colleagues I know very well, they're going to be treated exceptionally well and with a degree of consistency that will give them comfort. And from a candidate perspective, I think a degree of respect and appreciation for what they're going through in their career, that they're making a real, life-altering change, and that we are shepherds to that change.
We really use a human-first approach in all of our interactions, really stripping it down to getting to know the person you are talking to, whether it's a candidate or a client. We really take time to know someone's values, their story, their journey of how they got to where they are, but more importantly, where they're trying to go in their career.
If you look at the sheer number of long-term relationships that we've developed over the years, we've staffed entire teams for organizations, and I think that's really neat and something to be proud of.
When I joined LRO 4 years ago, the biggest reason was their culture. As someone that's hearing impaired, I wanted to join a team that was inclusive, accepting, really encouraging, because that's ultimately what motivates you to do your best and perform your best.
What LRO does really well is it gives you the tools to succeed and then essentially gets out of your way. It allows everyone to really own their experience, have autonomy, be entrepreneurial, as I like to put it, and it allows everyone to have passion for what they do and, you know, really kind of champion the relationship that they have and drive value for their clients.
Some of the words that come to mind about working here include it's an accepting environment, it's a fun culture, it's very vibrant, people genuinely care about each other and each other's success, which really translates into our motto, which is relationships matter.
LRO's culture is very important. Of course, the tone is set by our leadership, by Ron, who is engaging and creates an environment that we all want to come to. And of course, the team is wonderful. There isn't anybody I wouldn't have a drink with on Friday night. And that always helps because we're in a shared professional services environment. So it's very meaningful and it's made me want to stay for as long as I have.
LRO truly does hire the best, whether it be for their clients or for themselves internally. Working with people that are talented, motivated, but also just kind, fun-loving, and accepting has really made it a joy to come to work every day and makes me excited for what the next years hold in store for me here.
LRO hasn't just impacted my career, it shaped it. It's allowed me to help candidates make life-changing career moves, many of whom are still in their chair today. And it's allowed me to connect great companies with great people. And for me, that is so fulfilling.
I can't believe it's been 20 years. It's been a joy. And it's the longest I've ever been with an employer. And there's no regrets.
As I look to the future of LRO Staffing, I can't help but think about all the people, clients, the candidates, the employees, and all those that played a part in helping us reach this milestone. If the next 20 years can be anything like the first 20 years, I would be extremely fortunate.